What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is erinbies. I am a wife, a mom, a military veteran, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps. If you are brand new, hello. I am so glad that you are here. If you have been here for a while, I appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody that is subscribed. Shout out to everybody that watches the videos all the way through. I appreciate you guys, especially those of you that drop comments or share it out. And shout out to the members. You guys are incredible. Absolutely incredible. If you guys would like to follow me on social media, here are my social media handles. And we're going to jump right into today's video. I know that things are going to look a little bit different. I'm testing out some editing stuff, so feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below. But today I have an ItWorks multi-level marketer. And I do feel like there's some virtue signaling. I do feel like there is some cognitive dissonance that they are experiencing, and we're going to watch it together. So feel free to drop your commentary below. And without further ado, let's get started on today's video.
Morning. Happy Thursday to you. So I don't take the girls to school like every single morning. Sometimes Andrew takes them. Sometimes I take them. We trade off depending on whatever the day looks like. So I took them to school today, and I was reminded, so yesterday I got my lashes filled, right? And my lash girl and I were talking about how, we wish that there were more like, chain restaurants. Like, I would love to take the girls to Olive Garden every now and then to get the breadsticks and Alfredo sauce. They love that. And they think it's like a fancy place, you know, and we just have cute memories of like special times going there. But we don't have a lot of like chain restaurants, in part because people are still not going back to work, especially in like the service industry up here. And so part of that, I think, is just that it's really expensive to live here in Montana. Well, at least where we are, it is.
It's the privilege for me. It's also stop going live and driving at the same time. You have time to do this when you're not driving. Like, let's stop doing that, okay? Also, her privilege is showing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna keep it moving.
And most of the industry up here was like farming, you know, and so when everything made a change in the country and inflation went up, the people that originally are from here couldn't really afford to live here anymore unless they were doing something that supports, you know, the cost of living. And
okay, so this is her leading into pitching them ItWorks. That's exactly what is happening here.
So she was talking about how so many people that she knows are starting to do businesses online, and everybody is switching to online business. And so this morning, excuse me, as I dropped the girls off at school, usually when I get back in the car, before I start driving, I will do some work before I leave. And then I'm driving on back roads all the way home. So that's how, you know, I'm out here by myself when I'm making videos. But anyway, and I looked around in the parking.
Why is that even relevant? I'm driving on the back roads. Is that you trying to justify the fact that you're going live and we shouldn't judge you for it? We are judging you for it. Stop going live while you're driving. It's reckless.
Lot, and there was 4 other parents sitting in their cars working before they left the school. Like, all the kids are in school and school has already started, but there was 4 other parents in different cars sitting in their cars working before they.
How do you know what other people are doing in their cars? Did you walk over to their car and knock on their window and ask what they were doing? How do you know what people are doing in their cars? I just feel like it's so weird. MLMers, in my opinion, will take any scenario and stretch it to make it fit their narrative. And I feel like that's what we're doing here. How do you know that they were working? What if they were making appointments or sending or responding to text messages while they were driving, because maybe they don't respond to text messages while they're driving. We love that. How do you know what they were doing?
Start to drive just like I'm doing. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Unless they're all on her team. Imagine them all being on her team.
And it's been really interesting living here. You know, we just moved here in the last summer, and hearing the jobs that people do in order to live here. And most of them are remote jobs that they can travel and do, or do online, or, you know, things like that. And so it's like everybody is considering doing things online to bring in income, but not realizing how many people are already doing it all over the world. And, you know, especially...
This is so vague, it is unreal. There are a lot of jobs that are remote. There are a lot of jobs that are hybrid, where they go into the office several days a week and then they're home the rest of the week. There's a lot of flexibility because people needed that during the pandemic, and they're happier. A lot of you have told me, you know, you work from home or you have hybrid schedules and you're really happy with it. And I think that that's cool. The fact that she's trying to take that and use it as a way to pitch ItWorks is absolutely wild. And we're talking about ItWorks. We're talking about a company that the reps typically cold message people. They do the host to post things where they ask people to post something and then they follow up. Optavia is now doing what they're doing. And it's really interesting to me that she's trying to make what she does, multi-level marketing, seem the same as a traditional job that has gone to either complete remote working or some sort of a hybrid schedule.
Since 2020. And so anyway, if you have considered building a business online, I want you to know it's a lot simpler than you think.
Yeah, you have to sell a product and recruit people. It's pretty simple. Doesn't mean that it's a good thing, but it is pretty simple.
Steps are very simple. I, you know, posted something the other day and someone commented, if only it were simple. And the truth is, you're going to have to work hard at anything you do.
Yeah, agreed. You're going to have to work hard at anything you do. However, the majority of things, you actually get paid wages for the time that you are working. Whereas in multi-level marketing, that's not the case. And 99.7% of people lose money or don't make any at all, according to the FTC. So yeah, you're going to have to work hard in anything that you do. Absolutely. But the difference is when you have a traditional job that you're working hard at, you're getting paid for your time and or also getting benefits for being there, for having that job.
Do I work hard? Yeah, I do work hard at what I do, but it's easy work. I'm not out in the weather. I can stay home in my pajamas or work in my car when I'm running errands, or take the day off if I need to, or travel when I want to. And so it's fully flexible, and I'm in control of my time.
I couldn't be further from the truth. We all know that there is no such thing as time freedom in MLMs. I've talked about the spinning plate analogy many times, where if you stop working, everything crumbles. And there's an aspect of, okay, I've got to keep my customers, you know, happy, make sure that they're still doing their auto ships. I also have to work with the team. I have to do training. I have to show them how to do all of this stuff. And the second you stop spinning those plates, it all crumbles. There is no time freedom. So where she was talking about, I get to take time off when I want to, but do you really, or are you doing other things while you're staring at your phone? So like, instead of being home, say that you're running errands, you're staring at your phone between every stop. That's not time freedom. That's working all the time, which is something that we know happens in multi-level marketing.
I am someone that will keep working at it until I figure it out. Whatever it is, that's how I've always been. I like the challenge of doing something new that I've never done before. And It might take me a minute. I might not be the fastest at it or the best at it, but I don't care because I'll keep doing it until I figure it out, and that's why I win.
Wow. I feel like the only reason she's saying that is because she wants people to know, well, I'm just a couple steps ahead of you. I don't have it all figured out, but you know, I'll help you get started. It's her trying to make herself look more human. It's her trying to look like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. That's the kind of vibe that I feel like I'm getting from that part.
Whatever I do. And so you don't have to have experience or be good at social media or have some special knowledge at anything. All you have to do is be kind and be willing to do the tasks consistently. And
those tasks that she's referring to are cold messaging people, asking them to do host to posts, following up with customers if you have any, trying to recruit people, you know. Oh God, this is so bad.
You can do that. You don't have to have an education or some prerequisite that people think you need to have. None of that's true. If you've got a cell phone and you're willing to give it, 30 minutes a day or so, I can teach you how to make a full-time income from your phone wherever you.
A full-time income, you say? Really, that's interesting, because looking at the income disclosure statement from ItWorks, over 85% of people in ItWorks are only making, from the 2021 income disclosure statement, are only making $57 on average a month. That doesn't include the cost of their products. That doesn't include the cost of any kind of expenses that they need to operate their business, whether it's they have a phone that they need or whatever. Basically what she's saying is, if you have a heartbeat and if you can copy and paste and you have a social media, I can teach you how to make a full-time income. But when you look at the income disclosure statement, it determined that is a lie.
You want to be. I think it's a beautiful thing that this business rewards hard work and effort.
But does it? You get paid for hard work and effort? No, you get paid when you sell an overpriced MLM product and or you recruit somebody into the business. That's what you get paid for. They always try to make it sound like, oh, I get paid for showing up. I get paid for posting on social media. You can monetize your scroll. No, you get paid for signing up customers that buy an overpriced MLM product, in my opinion, and or recruiting. And typically you make more money recruiting than you do off of the sale of a product. That is why recruiting is so heavily emphasized within multi-level marketing companies, within the distributors of the company, is because you're going to get paid more off of the distributors' purchases. And if they have customers, if they have team members, that's why there's so much emphasis on growing your organization, if you will. It's because you make more money that way.
That only some people can do it. It's literally anybody can do it. If you put in that effort and you show up and you do the consistent job. This business has paid me over $1 million. I'm working on my second $1 million from my phone.
And that is an income claim. Is that gross or net? Also, I would love to know how much of that comes from your team and how much of that comes from commissions from selling products to actual customers. I would love to know that, because one thing that we do know is the majority of the money, when you have people that are in the top of these companies, they are earning that from their team. They are earning it from different bonuses, their team ranking up, their team volume every single month, and then they're making a little bit of commission when it comes to product sales. So these weird flexes of I've made this much, or I'm a 6-figure earner, I'm a 7-figure earner, whatever they say, how much of that is coming from the team and how much of that is coming from the product? Because the majority of that, in my opinion, comes from the team. So she's on here and she's flexing how much money she's made, but she's done it off of the backs of her team members.
With no previous knowledge, I'd never done anything like this. I'm not a salesperson. I never liked sales. I never imagined I'd ever say yes to trying something like this, but we needed the extra income. And now I'm thankful I did, because people everywhere are moving to online business, because you can build such bigger business through online than in person, And so
the fact that she's trying to compare ItWorks to legitimate online small businesses is disgusting. You don't make any of the decisions that you would if you were an actual entrepreneur in ItWorks or any other MLM for that matter. You are a glorified advertising person, employee, if you will, a contracted employee with the company. And when you sell something or recruit somebody, that income goes on your 1099 that you pay taxes on. So comparing this to traditional businesses, nah, that's not it.
So anyway, if it's something you're considering, I want you to know I can teach you how. Just swipe up and message me info, and I'll answer any questions you have and see what you think.
And then she has a post here and it says, before you knock it, consider this. What would an extra monthly part-time or full-time income do for you? What if you could decide your own schedule? And what if it was easier than you think? And she put a poll, and by the way, this is a very beautiful picture of her. She says, the poll says, can I get info and tell me more? When you look at the income disclosure statement from ItWorks, and it shows that 85% of the company are making only on average $57 a month, where is that full-time or part-time income? In order for you to even make what's considered a part-time income from this company in particular, you are going to have a pretty substantial team. You are going to heavily recruit. You are going to have people that are checking all the boxes and charting properly and doing all of these crazy things that these people in this company have to do when you're at the top. And for the majority of people that are a part of this company, that's just not going to happen. And so the fact that she is on here flexing the amount of money that she is making and her lifestyle and what she's able to do because of her team, in my opinion, it's false advertising when it comes to people that are following her on social media, because we know statistically that's not going to happen for the majority of the people that do reach out and message her with info. Okay, let's go to her next video. And again, I don't know if I mentioned this in before the first video, but shout out to the individual that sent this to me. I appreciate you so much. And I couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you, I appreciate it. And if you want to send me any information, you can check the video description and it has how you could do that. Send it to my Google Drive. All right, let's watch this next clip together.
It makes to have this unbe up. And something that I feel like the enemy tends to bring up in my mind and in my heart and can sometimes.
So the enemy, I feel like, is something that we hear, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I feel like we hear a lot of people that are Christians that talk about the enemy. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that's what she's talking about, which to me is spiritual manipulation already. Starting off strong here with this one. And yeah, anyways, let's keep going.
It's like knock me off track. I don't feel like it's necessarily a struggle. It's just like a soft spot where, you know, I can get kind of rocked a little bit is, you know, telling me that I need to be ashamed of what I do for my work, or that, you know, people are going to think that what I do is a scam, or a pyramid scheme. And that, you know, funny thing is, network marketing has been around for a really long time. And
maybe do some research and ask yourself why multi-level marketing has been around as long as it has. It's because of the political lobbying and putting people in roles where they can allow multi-level marketing to continue. Otherwise, it would have been gone a long time ago. This is giving, oh, it's not a pyramid scheme. We have a product. We actually have a product that we're selling.
It has this like bad stigma on it because there are scams and pyramid schemes that exist. You know what I mean? And the hard thing
is it a stigma or is it statistics and data that back it up? Is it a stigma, or does your income disclosure statement back up everything people have said about this company when it comes to losing money, not making any, that type of thing? Is it a stigma, or are you saying it's a stigma because it supports your narrative and downplays people's experiences or when people have been exposed to, I don't know, anti-MLM content where they are looking at the income disclosure statement and they're going, wait, 85% of people in this company in 2021 only made $57 on average a month? That doesn't sound like a lot of money. Oh, don't listen to that. They're taking it out of context. In my opinion, this is just her trying to come up with a way to continue to recruit. And it makes me wonder if she had somebody that brought this to her attention, somebody that said, is this one of those things? Oh, I'm not, I tried another company or whatever. It makes me feel like she's just trying to defend what she's doing. And once again, she is filming while she is driving, I believe. And that is so dangerous. Don't do that.
Is that there's a lot of you that like don't know me in my everyday life. Like we don't know each other. Like for you to see the way I live and who I am as a regular person, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm getting gas. I have to try and pay attention. So you're always like just seeing what I post or what I say, but you don't know that like I would legit never scam somebody. I mean, like, I feel like I'm on this earth to love the Lord and love people.
A couple things. One, I would suggest this person refers to their income disclosure statement. And the second thing is I feel like cognitive dissonance has definitely entered the chat with this one, because I guarantee you if this woman looked at the people in her downline, if she had actual conversations with people in her downline and said, how much money are you really making? I'm not talking about gross. I mean, how much money are you actually bringing home to your family, if any? Show me what you are making. Show me your profit and loss statement. And the majority of our team is going to go, huh? Because they're spending a lot of money on products. And then ghost accounts. I'm sure that there are ghost accounts and things like that that happen within this company as well because of the charting and the undue influence and the pressure and all of that. So if this person were really to sit down and have some real conversations rather than, and I'm not saying she's being like toxically positive, but overall, we know that multi-level marketing companies, the people within the companies are typically toxically positive. And what I mean by that is they are not going to acknowledge that things aren't as good as they seem. They're going to say, nope, I'm just going to continue until I get this mastered. I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep my auto ship going. And they're wasting so much money and time and energy and effort. And so, again, I'm not saying that this person is being toxically positive, but I think it would be, I know from my own experience how difficult it is to learn that the numbers on your income disclosure statement from the company are actually correct. And that's going to take having conversations with your team members, and that's going to take those team members being super honest and looking at their numbers and looking at their bank accounts or their credit card statements for a lot of them, and understanding that, hey, I'm not actually making any money and I'm paying into this to be a part of it. And I can't fathom any leader in their right mind that really, truly, genuinely cares about their people, understanding that, okay, well, 85% are gonna, gross $57 a month. So a lot of these people are gonna lose money. I'm just going to keep going. That's that crossroads that I talk about often, where when you really peel back the curtain and see what multi-level marketing really truly is, and you decide to continue knowing that the majority of people are going to lose money or not make any at all, that, in my opinion, is morally bankrupt.
People, and that is my sole purpose in life. And this business has allowed me to love more people and see people's lives literally be changed.
Imagine thinking that in order to love people, you had to make money off of them. Imagine thinking that expressing love of other people has to be based on a transactional relationship. Because one thing we do know from countless stories across the anti-MLM movement is the fact that once people get out of the multi-level marketing company, those relationships typically deteriorate, because that leader is no longer making money on them. They're of no use to that leader anymore. And of course, I'm going to use leader very loosely in this example.
Because of this business, like I'm standing here getting gas And before this business, we couldn't fill our truck full, from empty to full, which is what I'm doing right now. We couldn't afford it, and we were in full-time ministry. And now, because of this business, we don't ever have to worry about, only letting the gas tank get to halfway and go hurry and fill it so that it doesn't go to empty, because we can't afford to fill it from 0 to full. Do you know what I'm saying? And every success.
And that's because of your team. That's because of the money you're making off of your team. I really hope that this person watches this video. This is not me shaming or, being snarky to her or anything like that. I really hope that she listens to the words that are coming out of her mouth, because she's standing here at the gas pump filling up her gas tank of her truck, I think she said, and not caring about it. But how many of the people on her team can say that they can do the same thing without putting it on a credit card? Probably not a whole lot, probably a very small percentage. And if I were to guess, and of course I'm not stating this as a fact because I don't have their numbers in front of me, but I would venture to say that the numbers on that her team members are either pulling in or putting out when it comes to income, profit or loss, I would venture to say that it probably matches that income disclosure statement from the company. Pretty spot on.
Book that I read, or a business book, that kind of thing, they all say that, like, for getting started in, building your own business or becoming an entrepreneur, the best way to start, or if they could go back and do it over again, would be to start in network marketing. And I'm like, man, how is it that
every business book, every success book says that they would start, if they could go back and start all over again, that they would start in multi-level marketing? Every single success book says that. Really, I'd love to see the sources of all of the books that you have read that specifically state that. Because I'm pretty sure that the only books that state that are pro MLM books that they're selling them at the conferences, or they're speaking at the conferences, and the author is pushing the book sales from the stage, or their programs or their coaching. I'm pretty sure that comes from Network Marketing Pro that Eric Worre wrote. Every book? No.
That so many people in the world can look at what we do and think it's a scam or a pyramid scheme, and yet every successful millionaire book I read or listen to all suggests starting in network marketing. I'm like, but I do know that there are companies that I would never do this job with. I would never work with, because they do function that way. So I mean, I get how.
And here we have somebody standing at the very point that the anti-MLM movement makes and missing it completely. The overgeneralizing of the success books that she's referring to, mentioning that they would all start in multi-level marketing if they could start over, is absolutely insane, in my opinion. I know that that's not true.
People can look at it that way and think that, because it does exist, but at the same time I go, gosh, how many people do I talk to on a regular basis that would actually be really good at this, and it would actually change their lives? Like, when I see people say they're working their tails off to not have any money left over at the end of the month. That's what we used to live like.
What do you think people in multi-level marketing on this person's team more than likely are doing? They're working their tails off and they're not making any money, or they're losing money. So could you say it's changing their lives? Yeah, but not for the better. They're learning really hard lessons about relationships and boundaries and money. It's unfortunate. It's really, really sad. And I hope that the people in this person's downline, I hope they get out. I hope they see this and they go, wow, I thought it was just me that felt that way, or I thought something was wrong with me, and they realize that there's nothing wrong with you. Not a thing. You've just been taken advantage of, and that's really hard to process.
You know what I mean? And because of this business, I mean, it's completely changed everything for us. And how many people avoid doing something that could really change their lives because they don't know what it's really like?
This makes no sense. This is just, I feel like it's her trying to make it sound like what people say about multi-level marketing companies is an opinion and that it's not fact. Well, some people don't like it. Some people don't agree with it. No, it's a lot of people, and it's backed up by statistics and data. It's not an opinion. It's fact.
And I can't speak for other companies. I've never done any other company, and I will not do any other company, but I can speak for almost 9 years of this business with this one company. It's not a scam or a pyramid scheme, and it really can change your life in a major way.
And then she has a picture here, and it says, when I say this business has changed everything for our family, I mean everything. Might seem small to some, but I will never forget where I came from and never stop being grateful to fill up my gas tank from empty to full without being worried about how much it costs. And my only response to that is, how many of your team members can do the same thing? I bet it's a small portion of them, depending on how big her team is. I bet there's not many that can say the very same thing. And that's the part that we're all talking about within the movement, is that there are people that can stand here and say that they've made millions of dollars. There are people that can stand here and say, I can fill up my gas tank and not care about the gas prices and fill it up and not worry about it and, whatever. But there's a lot of people that can't. And the only reason that people like this are able to do these things and to make these claims and to also be making this much money on paper, because it's not net, and we know that, is off of the backs of their teams. And that is who I specifically am advocating for on my channel and on social media. Those people that think that there's something wrong with them. Those people that think that they are the failure, that they're not working hard enough. People in MLM work extremely hard. They are constantly working, and they're not being accommodated or paid in general for their time. And they lose themselves, and they develop these transactional relationships with people. And then when they start to step away and they start to realize what they were a part of, those relationships go away. So people struggle with how to set boundaries. People struggle with finances. People struggle with a whole bunch of things just because of being in a multi-level marketing company. It's awful. This was a tough one, but I think it was an important conversation for us to have because of the cognitive dissonance. There was a little bit of virtue signaling, if I'm going to be super honest. And, that's really sad. But I can also relate to how this information was being presented by her. And again, no hate to her, no shame to her, anything like that. I do hope that she gets out of the multi-level marketing company, because I know the damage that it can and will eventually cause to many people, not just her, but the people around her. And I hope that she gets out. I hope she really starts to look at what her team is actually making, whether it's profit loss. I talked about that in the last clip, but it's really sad. Guys, don't join an MLM. Don't do that. You're better off starting your own business. You're better off getting a part-time job or something along those lines if you're able to, and making the decisions if you are starting your own business. There's so many ways that you can do it. There are so many low-cost ways that you can start your own business. If you loved today's video, feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn the bell notification on so you can get notified anytime I upload anything. Thank you to everybody that watches all the way through. I appreciate you guys so much. Shout out again to the individual that sent this to me. If you guys have anything that you'd like to send my way, check out the video description. It tells you how you can send it to upload it to a Google Drive and then share it with my email. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video.